can be a career, a business, and a side hustle. Good Rising Family Black checking in, the owner of HogOn Welding and the founder of HogOn University. I wanted to talk to you about that because some people only look at it like with a single vision, or they're not looking at it as being a great asset. I'm from the streets, family, and I learned how to hustle. So I was in a situation where I just learned how to take something at one price and sell it at another, or stand on a corner and sell some newspapers and get people to come around and network with me, or getting some cans or selling some pecans. Like, I've always been a hustler trying to figure something out in the rural area. And I remember when I first moved to Phoenix, Arizona, I actually started the business. At that time, I had the career, I had the years of experience under my belt, and I had literally just started the HogOn Welding LLC as official in Phoenix, Arizona. It was actually May the 25th is actually when it got established, and I had that going. But I was still hard to, like, it was still pulling teeth, man, trying to get some contracts in, to get some work flowing, and I had to actually turn it into a side hustle. Like, I didn't understand it at first, like what I was doing, fam. But I know from the street standpoint, you always have different things that people need, repairs especially, or installs. So I figured out a way to network myself on Craigslist and different online venues that gave me the opportunity to put my services out there. And I called that ATM money, fam. It was like weekends, weekdays, depends on what the situation was, but it was more of a service call, a repair, or giving them an estimate to come fix this. But majority of the time, I had a 2 hour minimum, like where I was at, it was a 2 hour minimum. And normally it's $150 for a 2 hour minimum on the service call, unless it's on a Sunday. You know what I mean? Normally Sunday service calls, if I do it on a Sunday, there was 4 hour minimum. So it really wasn't worth my time. So normally do the week, 6 days a week, it was 2 hour minimum. Then I had a 4 hour minimum on Sundays. And literally, fam, sometimes I go out and it'll take me longer to drive to the job than to actually fix it, even though I had to bring, a couple $1,000s of equipment with me to actually fix it. So I learned how to turn welding into a side hustle. And when you're in the bigger when you're in bigger areas, you have more people that would look for your services, especially online. Craigslist was great, and Facebook Market was great. Good rising, good rising. Yeah, 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 man. You know what? It's time to break some chains, man. So I want to get some free game this morning, fam, on actually how to stay afloat. You know what I mean? Because you can have the job, and it's easy to get. Depends on where you at, fam. It's easy to get some employment, especially right now. If you're a good welder, family, and you go to a area where their welding is needed, you can get you a pretty decent job. You can start off anywhere from, I'm gonna say, depends on where you're going. Probably anywhere from $16 to $25 an hour, at least $16 to $22 an hour. Depends on what you're doing or whatever. And you can start getting some money to start, putting money up for your business. And a lot of times, fam, we get so caught up in trying to think we need the best of this. I know welders who've been welding for companies forever, and they got a nice charge or a nice video game, and they got a decent welding hood, and they ain't invested in their own welding machine to actually make some profit. So it all goes with the mentality, how we think, but we can most definitely go from the career, as far as just having a job, to actually starting a business. And when I started my business, fam, I want to say that I started it based on helping contractors. My goal was, I said, hey, you know what? I didn't want to get my contractor's license. So what I did, I said, hey, I'm going to specialize my business to help contractors. In Phoenix, there's so many independent contractors that already got their license that I can go under, and I can get nice money to just go in and help them finish up their projects. And if I run across some nice contractors we can build some good relationships. So I had some that we built good relationships, and I helped them on one project or another. And every now and then, in situations where money, um, being out there, being out west, boy, they greedy. I'm gonna let you know that. And so sometimes some relationships was severed just because they tried to not pay me, and I had to go the extra mile to get paid. And I was like, once I did that, there was no reason to further the relationship, even though they called me, hey man, I got this. Nah, it was too hard working with you. Or I have had some where I had to get them to pay me up front. Like, hey, you're gonna have to pay me up front if you want me to come do whatever it was that you was trying to get me to do. Hold up, fam. I seen something pop up. I want to make sure I catch you. Yeah, you know what? It's a lot of that going on right now, man. And just so sadly, like I say, where I'm in Arkansas, in the city, like, in Little Rock, surroundings, some of the city areas, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, some of the bigger populated areas, they actually got real big needs. And in some of the small areas, like where I'm at, actually, Dublin's got one of the most thriving opportunities, but it's like, literally it's assembly line and they work. So they doing 10, 12 hours and it's like work, you know what I mean? But it's just building parts, just consecutive. I'm not going to say it's slave work, but it's work. It's like robotic almost what you're doing. It's almost repetitive, you know what I mean? So, but they are hiring, they didn't jack they were pay up to $20 an hour or $22 an hour or something like that. So they paying good for a good welder. So it depends on where you at. But like I say, you can use that money to start your business too. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. But don't think inside. Don't feel like you're trapped, fam. But you can be trapped in certain areas. Like from where I'm at, like since I've been in my hometown, to be honest with you, I have made side hustles. My side hustle here has been renovations, fam. I did one, two, I did two, three renovations that paid some nice income versus like if I tell you on some repairs, I had one, I might have had two, maybe three small ones since I've been here. Nothing major though, you know what I mean? Majority, I don't know, they already got a system. Some places you go, they got the good old boy system in line, or they got a system where people are rather, man, I'm gonna mess with someone, so they gonna give me, a deal. Like I even had one guy, man, that just blew my mind that this guy would call me, have me come over to give him a bid on doing a job. He bought everything needed for the job, even got the other jobs lined out. But they're gonna tell me, hey man, I need you to fix it for me now for free, but I'm gonna pay you as soon as I finish the job. But he bought everything else. So I'm like, nah, I don't, sometimes you have to, when you see relationships like that, what's going on, fam? When you see relationships like that, you have to cut them off like from the get-go because some people just will take advantage of you, man. So, you have to just know that you can bring the streets. And I like to say this, the streets can convert over to business, family. It can. We can use our street knowledge and convert to business to really network and really grind hard. But you can't convert the business to the streets, and that's where it gets tricky at because that's when the laws and policies and stuff that you can do, certain codes that we actually hold up and respect in the streets. You don't, they don't respect in business, man. Business is actually, if you ask me, business is raw in the streets. What I would have found because we got code ethics, and then business is more like, did you read it? Oh, you didn't look at that? That was your bad. Oh, you broke the contract, but you did everything else. My bad. I can't do nothing for you. You know what I mean? If you think about even the David Chappelle situation, morally they know they did him wrong, but on contract he didn't finish one clause, so they're like, well, we ain't got to pay him nothing. And they didn't for years. It took this man years to get his money back. And I'm not going to say it was just a guilty conscience. I think it's just a lot of heat and a lot of awareness going on with other people. Like, man, that's kind of some shysty stuff what you're doing, man. You need to go on and get this man his money, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes, man, I like to tell people just because we have an idea and you speak it out and play it out doesn't actually mean that you own the idea. That's why it's good to, for us to find and build our own in America today. You know what I mean? Because situations are happening where you can build something, like I was saying, your family can build something, you can work for someone and they can get rid of it or do what they want to do. And you're like, man, but I did this, I initiated it. It's kind of like Nick Cannon was like, man, but I started this, but they started it. He had the idea, but they funded it. It wasn't his whole funded idea. If you'd have funded everything, how you gonna get fired from your own show? Nah, it hurt him because he came up with it and they used it, but they owned the idea. He didn't own it. He was just a representative. He was just the ambassador of it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like we should just wake up, man, and really realize that we can do a lot with welding. And I'm talking about like it goes so deep because you got people that's artists that like to draw and make things with welding. You know, I don't like to draw and make things with welding, like that. I don't like to draw with it or just make random things. But I enjoy like the teaching and the fabrication of building something structural or ornamental and installing it. You know what I mean? I enjoy engineering things to help a product. You know what I mean? So them the type of things that I enjoy, but I have seen people that really like to be artists with the welding. And like I said, I can't say that I couldn't do that, but I just don't have the passion in doing that. But if you got the passion in doing that, that's money in that if you find your niche. You know what I mean? So it's all about finding your niche, fam. But I can most definitely say welding can be a career, welding can be a business, welding can just be a side hustle. So it all depends on how you look at it and what area you are in. You know what I mean? Like I say, here it's a little slower right now. I have a couple things that I'm networking on as far as the bridge situation, and I'm also networking on an opportunity in Georgia too. So I'm kind of trying to keep some options open. But here in the area, since I've been back, like I say, I went and did the Little Rock Bridge, the I-30. I did that for about a month, and actually it would have lasted longer, fam. But I'm not willing to like. I heard a guy say the other day. He said, "If you don't know what you do for money, at least know what you won't do for it." You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be some things, man, that you know people will do for money. People allow someone to disrespect them. People allow someone to grab them and touch them in a certain way, and they'll act like they'll wait till years later. Well, they did do me like this, but you allowed that to happen because you wanted that money. You know, you felt violated, but you was, I got to get this position. I don't want to take this house from me, this car, this lifestyle that I'm living. You know what I mean? So we allow people to do things to us for the money, fam. You know what I mean? So I'm just not into that, you know. And me being back in the good old boy state, well, I tell you what, it has reminded me being back in Arkansas, honestly, why I left Arkansas. You know what I mean? And I love where I'm from, fam. I love my family. I love the home field, but it's just like Jim Crow is so thick here, man. It's just unreal, fam. Jim Crow is serious. Yeah, man. You know what? We had to avoid those headache jobs, man, because you know they out here and contractors. You know what I mean? You know, I always like to say before you jump on a contract, meet that person, talk to them, go out and you know and hold some conversations with them to see, you know, if there's somebody you want to deal with. I have always, you know, picked up on a couple red flags when people trying to be real eager to hurry up and get you to help them or get or promise you so much work. Oh man, I'm got all this work for you. You just give me a deal on this, cut this, and I got all this shit lined out for you. You know what I mean? We have a lot of that family, so we had to look between the lines, man, and through the mud on that situation because dealing with contractors, dealing with businesses, you got to think people want you to help them grow their situation. And if you think it independently or you think career-wise, you got to make sure the situation is good for you. So, you know, I have had situations where, you know, I could make income and then when it was all said and done, I also had a guy sell me out because the other guys didn't like me because I spoke my mind. You know what I mean? So, and it's crazy because the guy on this one contract, I still mess with this contractor, but he had some white guys around him that actually influenced him not to mess with me because they was like, man, I can get my partner to do it. What you got him for? I can get, you know how you got them? It was one of them situations. He still messed with me, but we wasn't eating like we was eating. And I noticed what happened. And then one of the guys that was in his ear, went to jail, and then he called me, hey man, and I'm like, I'm gone. I was gone at that time, and I was like, boy, that's something else. But it happens like that. You know what I mean? It happens like that, family. Especially being cultured. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. We in white America, so if you are a young white brother who's not on no racism, not on no BS, the future is bright for you in America. I'm just gonna be honest with you because the things you ain't gonna have to face that I have to face, we can have two young brothers side by side with the same education level, staying the same height, same grammar, and that white American brother gonna get a better opportunity than the African American brother or the African brother, however you want to call it, black native. That's just what it is. I've seen it many times. I have seen it many times on job sites. You know what I mean? I have been on, and every area isn't the same, but you do have small thinking people everywhere you go, fam. You have systematic people, So, learn to turn it into a side hustle. Like I say, since I've been back here, it's been more of an education, and I actually been working on a product with getting this business going. But so much has went up, fam, as far as material wise. You don't want to just spend money vainly unless you know you got a direction. So it's kind of like, I got here and I had to, I'm working on the house, doing the renovation of my mom's house, and then I'm actually trying to figure out, man, I still got this to take care of, that to take care of. I still trying to figure out a way to reinvent myself here while I'm here, because this is not where I'm staying at, but this is where I'm living at the moment. And I want to keep it up and going, you know what I mean? Someone to come back to visit or whatnot. But I think, once I finally make that big move, I don't look I don't look. I'm not looking back as far as coming back here, but it will be established and ready for those who want to come after me. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But I know that the things I got to do, I can't be in a small area. I can't be around small thinking people. You know what I mean? It limits my potential. You know what I mean? So I know I have to go on the highways and byways to actually make something happen. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to talk this morning about the welding career, the welding business, and the welding side hustle, because you can do it all, fam. So take advantages of Facebook market right now, because a lot of people are on Facebook and they got a marketplace. So you might as well figure out a way to market yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because literally I have made money on Facebook market. Now, since I've been here, no, people are very judgmental. In Georgia, I did good. In Phoenix, I did real good. Phoenix, I did good. Oklahoma City, I even, did good on Facebook market. Facebook, you know what I'm saying, on certain products. And then in certain things I had to sell, in my wife's image or with her face. I tried to sell it for a while, and as soon as I put her face on it, it instantly sold. I can't even lie to you. She even said, she was like, dang, that stuff out here. It is what it is, fam. We just have to not be naive. And I'm gonna tell you something else we can't do. We can't become bitter, family. We're gonna face, as African Americans, Black natives, we're gonna face racism. We're gonna face prejudice while we're here, and it is what it is. Like, you're not gonna get out of here alive without experiencing it. So I would just say, don't get bitter. You know what I mean? Get better. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be here. You're gonna face things, and it's not fair. You know what I mean? It's not right. And you have the reason to be mad. You know what I mean? Like, you have the reason to be upset, but don't sleep on the family and allow it to destroy you, because as long as we're here, we still got to live. So while we're struggling, trying to maintain, we still want to do better and get over the hump and just enjoy life. And, so keep that in mind, man. Don't let it affect you like that. But we are going to go through different things while we are here in this independent field, working for others, starting businesses and doing side hustles. So we have to just find our way, critique our way. Once we critique it, man, we'll have something. But fam, we just have to figure out what direction we want to go in. I love to say this: welding has 4 processes, so you can just MIG weld as far as ornamental. You can MIG weld, flux core weld as far as structural. You can actually do some pipe welding, you can do some stick welding. So you got 4 different processes, family. And then you can even make products, or you can build things, you can repair things. There's so many avenues. That's why I love it, because there's so many avenues with welding. And welding also cross over to different fields, you know, millwright, iron worker, plumbing, carpentry. Everybody pretty much need some welding or some metal work done somehow in different trades. So you can become an asset. You just got to find what you like. Find what you like, stick with it, stay with it, master it, and then jack everything else. Y'all get y'all hog on, man. Y'all be blessed.